Google has this master plan to surprise us, right? By leaking all these Pixel phones early, but in reality, they have a secret card up their sleeve, a Pixel Ultra that's going to blow everyone away. No. I know how much fun it seems to think that Google is catering to just the YouTube community of people that overanalyze leaks, make concept photos and stuff like that, and we like to theorize that what if they release these prototypes on purpose to throw us off? You know, I don't really think they care that much about us. Sometimes us on YouTube can get a little bit caught up with the concepts and the leaks, and we start to think that we are the community. We are everyone these phones cater to, and honestly, I don't really think that's the truth. I don't think Google really prioritizes what are the YouTubers saying about it so far. Because if they did, they probably wouldn't have made the Pixel 3 XL. It's not like they're listening to all of us complain about the notch and say, oh, that seems like something that the YouTube community really has a problem with. So we might as well make one that's twice as big and much, much, much worse looking. So that way we appeal more to the youth. No, if Google paid attention to what YouTubers said and they cared about what us conceptors think, they wouldn't be making this phone, which, yeah, by the way, if you want to keep riding that train of, no, that's not real, there's no way the Pixel 3 XL has a notch. Someone literally just left one in a lift. This is like we're reliving like the iPhone 4 days when they would leave the prototype in a bar, except we've already seen this prototype a million times because it's being sold on the black market apparently. Some people are saying you can buy it from certain parties for like $2,000, which is very much not worth it, I might add. We've got channels, as we've talked about, literally unboxing the Pixel 3. Now we've got people using the Pixel 3 like fully optimized, fully ready with a case on it, leaving it within a lift. And the saddest part about this Pixel 3 XL that's been discovered, they're not blacking out the notch, which is really worrying me given I've seen people unbox the Pixel 3 XL early, I've seen people boot it up and take pictures of it early, show us this bright blue button it's got, and yet every single Pixel 3 XL I've seen leaked is not having that option of blacking out the notch so that it blends in with the phone a little bit more, which really worries me. I'm really hoping that in the settings you'll be able to turn it off because of how blatantly huge it is, but I guess this is the sacrifice we all pay for front-facing stereo speakers. So these speakers better sound great, because if it does go this way, then my God, they're in trouble. So I didn't really talk about this, but I've been watching a lot of other YouTubers highlight this guy on Reddit who said he was in or a part of filming a Pixel Ultra commercial, and he took these really low-quality pictures of the Pixel Ultra, which I have no idea why anyone has believed. Tech Talk TV did a great special on this where he kind of boosted the exposure of the phone a little bit, and you can see a forehead. I think it's pretty noticeable, but the more blatant problem I have with this so-called leak that no one else seems to be addressing is the nav buttons. If they were filming a commercial for the Pixel Ultra, why wouldn't it be running the latest version of Android, just like all the other leaks we've been getting, whether it be the Pixel 3 XL or the regular size Pixel 3, which I might add doesn't look as bad. There's no notch on it. It's got a chin and a forehead that are of equal size. It's definitely a bit of a smaller phone, but if this thing was more budget catering, I think the regular size Pixel 3 could be a fairly decent purchase. It's got the bezel-less look of the Pixel 2 XL. It's only got one camera, but like I said, if they're able to keep the price low, Pixel 3 regular might be a decent phone. But the one consistency we have between the Pixel 3 XL and the regular size Pixel 3 is that every single phone that has been leaked or has been left in a lift ride all has the gesture controls now replacing the nav buttons. They've got that little bar at the bottom. Wonder where they got that idea, but I don't really care that Android P might be copying a little bit of the iPhone 10 because Apple copies Android, Android copies Apple. It happens all the time. I think gestures are better. As someone who has been using the Note 9 as my daily driver for the last week, I can say that when you're going for that bezel-less trend and you're trying to make the most out of every square inch of your display, having dedicated parts of it that just do button commands feels a little bit wasteful coming from an iPhone 10 user. So I'm totally okay with the idea of the Pixel 3 switching to gestures. It's just kind of funny that they put the bar there the same way Apple did. Regardless though, the idea that the Pixel Ultra for some reason isn't ready and can't run the latest version of Android for a commercial they're filming it with makes absolutely no sense to me. If you were able to get a up-close picture in person of the Pixel Ultra with the same size bezel all the way around, like the concepts we've been looking at, with that bar at the bottom so it's more gesture controlled, as we've seen many conceptors make in the past few months, people who said this is what the Pixel Ultra could look like. If we were able to get an up-close picture of that, then I could start believing it, because like we've seen with the 3 and 3 XL, people have their hands on Pixel phones phones early. There's no denying that those are the legit thing. But something you kind of have to give credit for / blame Google for, they got this phone out there really, really fast. We are still over a whole month away from the Pixel event, and the fact that they're letting their own employees or testers or whatever use this phone, running the latest version of Android and working as their daily driver already, that's pretty impressive. That, you know, we're getting unboxings and they're already packaging up the Pixel several months before the keynote actually happens and the pre-order period starts. So Google, I'll give you credit for being prepared. I mean, you definitely have these phones ready. I don't know what you're doing right now, making a bunch of them so that, I don't know, you have plenty to deliver on the pre-order date, but who's gonna order these? I'm really gonna be confused by the market this is going for. I mean, even comparing the Pixel 2 XL versus the Pixel 3 XL, when those two phones are available to the market, and the 2 XL is now cheaper, hopefully, than at $850, and the Pixel 3 XL inevitably gets released for $850, what's gonna be the advantage to switching? You're getting wireless charging and some type of face unlock technology, because the front-facing Pixel 3 XL seems to have 2 cameras on it now, so maybe this is a Face ID competitor. Are you really gonna be able to justify that extra $150 or $100 to embrace the notch, have the same camera, just get a glass back with wireless charging, and maybe get headphones included with the purchase? As an upgrade, I'm gonna see even Pixel users have a very, very hard time upgrading to the 3 XL and justifying buying a whole new phone for the small amount of features it's adding. If anything, I feel like because of this big notch, the front-facing speakers might not even be as good as they were on the 2 XL, and if you want that stock Android experience, isn't it still gonna be there on the 2 XL? If you bought the 2 XL, you probably don't care about wireless charging that much either, given there are an assortment of phones that came out before that and after that that already have wireless charging that are more affordable. So I assume if you're a fan of the Pixel 2, probably don't care too much about inductiveness, and if they're adding that on the 3, do you really need to buy a whole new phone over that? I'm having a hard time seeing the reason anyone would want to upgrade to the 3 XL. Maybe the 3, I could kind of get that, but the Ultra ideas of maybe they're adding the nav buttons back, that's not how they would showcase it in a commercial. I saw the post saying like, well, maybe it will have gestures, but maybe it's not running full stock Android yet. We've seen Pixel 3s already running the latest version of stock Android that have already leaked with the gesture controls and are being left by their careless engineers in Lyft rides now. It's not a mystery anymore. There's no sense of surprise, and I don't think Google is bamboozling you. I don't think Google is planning to surprise us and just showing these things to throw us off, because throwing us off is literally priority 0 for them. They do not care. If anything, they thought that revealing this phone early is what Samsung does and what Apple might do, so they thought, hey, let's leak this stuff a little bit early to generate hype, and it all blew back in their face because everyone went, oh no, that's the 3 XL, this looks terrible, and now Google's like, well, we committed, so basically the only thing that could save them now is adding in that option to black out the notch, and of course lowering the price of the 3 XL and the 3 to more budget-friendly OnePlus competitors. Then I think they could get stock Android and Google in the hands of more people, and I would be fairly okay with the phone if they were more budget. If they end up costing the same price as the Pixel 2 XL last year, then I'm going to be very confused on why they think people are going to upgrade. Even if you are a fan of stock Android, you can get 95% of the same experience with the 2 XL that if you're a Pixel fan, you probably already have. But if you're excited about maybe Google making a smartwatch, don't worry. In an interview, they confirmed they're definitely not doing that, which I'm actually okay with. I think they need to focus more on getting their lineup more perfected and have more premium hardware than, ooh, Snapdragon 845, so fast, after like 6 other phones this year have already come out with it and are $500 or $300 if you get the Poco phone. The idea of releasing an $850 phone and bragging about the Snapdragon chip. Oh. Now, if Google does end up releasing a third phone that maybe is not catering to be the more $1,000 retail price and maybe is trying to compete with OnePlus and be more budget, that I could also see happening, and I would like to see happen. I'm not seeing any leaks for it, which is why I'm still predicting that at this keynote next month, we are still just going to get 3 and 3 XL. Woo, be excited. There's a notch now. As impressed as I am that Google is this ready, this far in advance before the keynote, that they're already selling packages for it to the black market, I also have to think, Google, maybe you're working too fast. Maybe you should have spent a little more time focusing on the hardware and maybe some manufacturing processes that can keep the prices low. Maybe you should collaborate with a few carriers so that you can bring the Pixel to more people. Spend a little bit more time on your phone, because you seem to be like, yep, I'm done with this project already. We just gotta wait for October 4th. That's when we release the product. And it's like, get off the chair, get back to work, and maybe make your own CPUs, make them faster. Work on a Pixel Ultra. I'm claiming that the Ultra Ultra is not gonna happen and it doesn't exist, but wouldn't it be great if it did? Wouldn't it be cool if Google tried to make a premium smartphone that separated itself from the rest of the market and didn't just cave and do exactly what everyone else is already doing at the end of the year? These are the guys that made the Pixelbook, people. You don't have to put too much faith in them. You don't have to assume these engineers, this marketing team, they know what they're doing. If they knew what they're doing, they wouldn't make jokes about Pixel has a headphone jack and then remove it the following year. Or bring up that they're lacking things like a dual camera and then say no need. That is the marketing department we're talking about. So no, they're not releasing fake prototypes early just to dissuade us because they don't have the capacity to think like that. Let me know what you guys think of the Pixel 3 lineup down in the comments below. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.